Hi, everyone. As a witness, I was very familiar with the account of Jesus' death and of the disciples fleeing after his arrest and his trial, and I knew about Peter's denial of him. I now wonder at the fact that I didn't think about the fact that they had behaved the way they did, and I hadn't noticed the reassurances that Jesus gives to them after he sees them again. I mean, these are his closest companions. These are people who had spent 3 years with him in his ministry, had seen him perform miracles, had accepted him as the Messiah, and they all abandon him. And Peter denies him, and one of them betrays him. So how did Jesus treat them when he sees them again at their next meeting? I wanted to read to you John 20, verses 19 to 21. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood in the midst and said to them, "Peace be with you." When he had said this, he showed them his hands and his side, and then the disciples were glad when they saw the Lord. So Jesus said to them again, "Peace to you. As the Father has sent me, I also send you." So, no accusations, no scolding, no shaming of them. He gives them words of comfort. He speaks very comfortingly to them. This is not the way that I knew the organization to be. They don't speak comfortingly to people who do something wrong, who fail, who abandon truth. They just don't behave that way. There's the scolding and the accusations and are you sorry enough? Those things. In the gospel accounts, when I was reading them afterwards, I could see all kinds of little sweet grace notes throughout the gospels of how comforting, how much was put into comforting these fallen disciples. For example, in Luke, verse 22, verses 31 to 34. And the Lord said, "Simon, Simon, indeed Satan has asked for you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, that your faith should not fail. And when you have returned to me, strengthen your brethren." But as he said to him, "Lord, I am ready to go with you, both to prison and to death." And he said, "I tell you, Peter, the rooster will not crow this day before you will deny 3 times that you know me." So what must Peter have felt when he recalled that event? He would remember that he said he prayed for him. If the Lord and Master prays for you, you would think there's a lot of power in that prayer, a prayer from him. And then he reassures him by saying, "When you have returned." He knows he's going to fall. He knows he's going to abandon him and deny him. And yet he also knows that he's going to return. This must have meant an awful lot to Peter. Another example in the case of Peter again, in Mark 16, verses 6 and 7. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. See the place where they have laid him. and that he's talking to the women at the grave. The angel is talking to the women at the grave. He says, "But go tell his disciples and Peter that he is going before you into Galilee. There you will see him, as he has said to you." Again, this wonderful little note, not just go tell his disciples, but go tell his disciples and Peter. This must have reassured Peter, this kind of a comment, for his benefit. I'm going to link to a video that I did. It was based on Dr. Bergman's book on mental illness within the Watchtower, or with Jehovah's Witnesses. It's called "Religion Doesn't Create Guilt, JW's Guilt Intensified by Graceless, Unforgiving Organization Policies."